3D Underwater Acrylic Nail Art Tutorial by Hotpinkzebrapolish. So I'm going to begin by making my background with a seafoam green acrylic, and this has some glitter in it and some glitter flakes, and it's actually got lots of different kinds of glitter, so that makes an interesting background, but it can be completely glittery or glitter-free. So I'm filling in the entire tip, and then I'm going to dip a bead of clear acrylic into some sand and then fade the sand up the nail just to make it look like you're at the ocean's floor. So now I'm going to be encasing the nail with some clear acrylic, and when you're doing this you want to make sure that it's a relatively thin layer because we're going to be adding all of this on top of the nail and it's going to end up getting a little bit thick. But if you keep everything thin in the beginning, then it's not so bad. And you always want to encase the glitter, because if you don't, when you file the nail you're going to end up filing the glitter and it's going to change color and it's not pretty. So then file your nail until it is nice and smooth, and I'm using 180 grit file, and then I'm going to buff it to remove any of the little scratches that like to sneak out onto that surface from this file. I'm going to be applying a gel sealer, and this is going to make it nice and shiny, make it easier to apply all of our decorations. And so cure that, and then on a nail form backing I'm going to start sculpting my decorations, and I'm going to begin with two little fish. I'm going to make one that is pink and orange. And when you're making these, you really want them to be very small. Things always seem to be bigger once you put them on the nail, and it's surprising because they look so small and then they look so big on a nail. So make them as small as you can. So there's my pink one, and I'm going to start with a blue and yellow one, following the same exact steps. And I want one fish to be facing one direction and one fish to be facing the other direction, and it is important to sculpt them that way in the beginning so that any of the domed surfaces are properly oriented. So then with a bead of white acrylic I'm going to add their eyes, and then add a black dot with paint on each eye for the pupil, and then add some gel sealer over the top of your fish, and then stick some iridescent hexagon glitter on them to make them look kind of iridescent and like they have scales. To make the sea fan, I'm going to begin by creating a base of clear acrylic on a nail form, and you want it to be almost kind of mushroom shaped. And so in the stem of the mushroom shape, you're going to want to paint the base, or the stem, I suppose, of your sea fan, and then add all kinds of squiggly lines coming up from it, filling out the top area of that clear acrylic base that you made, and that's going to make your sea fan. So now very carefully cover up all of that acrylic paint. You don't want to paint this layer of acrylic on top because it'll smear the paint. And then apply a layer of gel sealer and cure. So now I'm going to be making my seaweed, and so I'm adding two colors of acrylic, two shades of green, and then I'm sort of blending them together and then pulling and stretching them into a fairly long, thin, tapered bar shape. So as you see, it comes to a point, and then let that set up until it starts to mattify. And it takes a little bit of time depending on the temperature you have, brand of acrylic, so on and so forth, how wet the beads were in the beginning. So test it here and there to see if it's releasing off that nail form. And I'm sort of lifting it up off one side and then attaching it to my nail, and it's sometimes easier said than done. This is the first one that I did, so it was a learning curve. And you can twist it and pull it. You don't want to just go straight up the nail. You want it to look like it's got some movement. And then after I placed the first one, I decided that I wanted to attach my fish. So I'm going to attach one on top of the seaweed that I made, and then one on the side, just like that. So now I'm going to be making another seaweed, and I believe I made 3 in total. And once you start making your second and third seaweed, you realize that it's a lot easier, and it's just a little bit of a learning curve to know when to pick it up and the best location to pick it up. You want to pick it up about in the middle and make sure that the ends don't meet so that they don't stick together. So yeah, anyways, start picking it up, and there you go. And then bend that and form that onto your nail, and then I'm just going to tuck it underneath that one fish. And now for the last seaweed, woohoo! So just make the last one, and then I'm just gonna fill that in the area that I think needs it the most. So just look, and your nail tip may seem well balanced with just 2, or it may seem like it needs 4. So just look and judge for yourself. So now on the tip of the nail, covering up the ends of those seaweed, is where I'm going to be adding my sea fan. And then I'm also going to add a few shell-shaped studs. So I'm going to add 1 on the tip, and then I'm going to add 2 up above. And I am attaching these with clear acrylic. And that one that I just placed, as you can see, slid down the nail. Make sure that it's not going to slide around because it's then going to be in the wrong place. So now I'm going to cover the tip in some more clear acrylic, and then dip it into some sand and really press the sand in. And that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope you like this design. Please share any recreations with me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I would really love to see them. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!